Hey guys, it's Sam from Dodgers Debrief, and today we're going to be talking about Dodgers rookie reliever Brusdar Graterol and his bafflingly low strikeout rate. So, as you probably remember, Graterol was acquired from the Twins in the mess that was originally the first draft in the Mookie Betts trade, but ended up being a straight swap for Graterol and some other minor leaguers for Kenta Maeda. To make a very long story short, and the story that you guys probably already know, the Red Sox didn't want Graterol because they thought he wouldn't be able to start due to previous shoulder injuries and how hard he throws. The Dodgers basically said, "Great, we'll take him." Personally, while it's super fun to watch Graterol strike guys out because his stuff is nasty, I don't care if he does it if he's getting great results like he did in 2020 and especially in the playoffs. However, it was brought up in the media a lot and sort of became a target on his back. So I kind of wanted to dig into it a little. The only reason, again, it's of interest to me is because it's talked about so much and because the less contact a pitcher induces, the smaller the chance for bad luck or errors by fielders. So it will be a little bit beneficial for him to increase the low strikeout rate that we are about to explore. It's not broken, but it can be fixed or improved, I guess. In his first season in Los Angeles and his first full season in the majors, Graterol won the hearts of fans and teammates, along with the trust of manager Dave Roberts, with his jubilant energy, team spirit, and triple-digit sinking fastball. He threw almost exclusively the fastball and the slider along with it. However, while Graterol had a very good 2020 season, as evidenced by his 3.09 ERA, .9 WHIP, 3.41 FIP, 1.2 walks per nine, and 1.39 ERA plus in 23.1 innings pitched in 2020, one statistic was somewhat of an anomaly. Graterol only struck out 5 batters per 9 innings, which was 13 strikeouts in 23.1 innings. That's a lot less than even one an inning, which would be a 9 K per 9. This minuscule strikeout rate is supported by Graterol's StatCast percentiles, which take a look at some more advanced things than surface statistics might, such as the quality of contact being induced by the pitcher and that pitcher's pitch spin. As you can see, Graterol is in great shape when it comes to inducing soft contact and has an incredibly low walk rate. So clearly from this, he's a very good pitcher and got very good results in 2020 accordingly. However, if we look at the categories where he's below average, this sort of tells the story that we're talking about. Graterol's fastball spin was only in the 5th percentile among major league pitchers. Even though he throws at 102 miles per hour, Graterol is basically just chucking the ball straight into the batter's box. There's not a ton of spin on it, even though it does sink a little bit. And while hitters can't square it up, they also aren't swinging and missing because it lacks that spin. A major league hitter can make contact with a straight 102 mile per hour fastball. He just can't do much that's actually, useful with it. As such, Graterol only gave up 1 home run in 2020, but his whiff rate was extremely low, confirming that hitters aren't swinging and missing at his fastball. In fact, Graterol got the fewest swings and misses of any qualified major league pitcher. Because of this, at-bats against him don't last very long, which makes it impossible, to strike somebody out because he's already grounded out or flied out before the at-bat gets to 2 strikes. Graterol gets outs extremely quickly because of this, but it all sort of spitballs to explain why he's only in the 7th percentile of strikeout rate among major league pitchers. So Graterol mainly only throws his slider in addition to that trademark sinking fastball, which doesn't help the situation. While his slider is a decent pitch, only having 2 pitches in your arsenal isn't going to get you many strikeouts because hitters have a decent shot at being able to predict what's coming because the speeds and the pitches are so different. Brusdar is only 21, so obviously he can develop more pitches and start to throw his changeup and four-seamer more to help solve this issue. And he really threw those pitches about 1% each of all his pitches in 2020. But again, that strikeout rate isn't really a problem. It's just interesting. 9 of Graterol's 13 regular season strikeouts came on his slider, which makes sense because Graterol usually sets it up with his fastball and then tries to get the batter off balance with his slider to either make weak contact with it or swing and miss at it. Accordingly, his slider had a 0.48 batting average against his sinker's 253 mark, and the whiff percentage on his slider was about 38%, contrasted with the sinker's 7%. Again, once Graterol gets a hitter into a count where he's going to throw the slider, there's a solid chance he can strike them out, a 38% chance to be exact, but he just doesn't get into those types of counts very often because usually his sinker has already been hit for a ground out or weak fly out. Because of his knack for inducing contact-related outs, Graterol was brought into his own inning, or he was brought in to get out of other pitchers' jams where there wasn't a runner on third and fewer than 2 outs, or a situation where he wouldn't need to strike a batter out to throw a scoreless inning. He was great at inducing double plays and weak pop-ups. However, as the Dodgers moved into the postseason, Graterol's role became higher leverage as many other relievers either got tired or sort of wavered a little bit. And actually, Graterol mostly excelled. The one time he didn't, he gave up kind of a lot of grounder singles to score some inherited runners from Kershaw, and those singles kind of just got right through the infield. There wasn't a whole lot he could do about it. He was pitching, I thought, decently for a guy who's given up a bunch of runs. And interestingly enough, he even tallied a strikeout per nine of 10.8 in the NLCS, which is more than one an inning, and more than double his number strikeout per nine during the regular season. And he pitched the most innings in the NLCS, which was 3.1. So that did show signs of improvement in a decent sample size as he played with his pitches. Even when Graterol wasn't striking batters out, he was incredible in the playoffs, giving up only runs in, again, that one bad appearance where he gave up seeing eye singles, demonstrating how strikeouts barely even matter in most situations anyways. But we did see improvement in that strikeout rate, which was a sign that he's working on his pitches. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. However, there were a few times in 2020, as I just talked about, where we could see the blueprint for what happens when Graterol gets hitters into a two-strike count. And boy, is it nasty. In this perfect sequence to Manny Machado, Graterol slowly works out of the strike zone for absolutely finishing him with a disgusting slider. Similarly, in the NLCS, Graterol struck out some guys out on a high slider, which is interesting because it's close to where he usually throws his fastball, making hitters likely swing over it or have their timing off. And he didn't do that much during the regular season. So it's a sign to me that he's already working on that strikeout rate. And as you can see, it paid off as it doubled. Watching these strikeouts, it's clear that Graterol's a relief ace and maybe even closer of the future if the closer is still a position that exists, which it shouldn't be, but that's another topic for another day. So Graterol obviously is a clear relief ace of the future once he starts to mix his pitches better and maybe add some more spin to his fastball. Right now, though, he's still experimenting with his pitch mixes and sequencing, and because he's throwing his low-spinning, sinking fastball so early in the count, and it's so easy for hitters to at least make contact with, he usually gets outs too quickly to strike guys out. Again, this isn't super uncommon for young pitchers, as we saw with Dustin May for most of the season. Or again, it's not even really a problem, anyways. But it should improve as Graterol and the Dodgers further develop Bazooka's lethal arsenal. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share with your friends. And leave any ideas for future videos or players you'd like to see broken down in a similar way to the way I just did Graterol in the comments. I'd always value any kind of feedback or future video ideas. Also, if you are interested in the Corey Knebel trade the Dodgers have made, which was a great move for LA, I talk about it and some other possible non-tendered players the Dodgers could pick up in the most recent blog on Dodgers Debrief, which is linked in the description below. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video.